You're listening to the Everything Jewish 10 Minutes at a Time podcast, where you'll learn about every Jewish topic imaginable in about 10 minutes. Before we dive in, quick confession. I'm not a real voice. I'm an AI voice, which means my Hebrew sometimes comes out sounding like I'm ordering at a drive-thru in outer space. So if Tikkun Olam ends up sounding like tickle an omelet, please just laugh, forgive me, and know my virtual heart is in the right place. Okay, got that out of the way. Today's topic is Tikkun Olam. Now that phrase may sound mysterious, but trust me, it's not about magic spells, time travel, or fixing your Wi-Fi router. It literally means repairing the world. And no, we don't mean with duct tape and WD-40, though to be fair, those are useful. It's one of those Jewish ideas that sounds simple, but has a depth that's kept rabbis, philosophers, activists, and your neighbor's cousin's bar mitzvah speechwriters busy for centuries. So grab your mental toolkit. We're about to explore what it really means to fix the world. At its core, Tikkun Olam comes from Hebrew, with tikkun meaning repair or correction, and olam meaning world. Sounds straightforward, right? Except like a Marvel multiverse plot, the meaning shifts depending on who you ask and what century you're in. In early Jewish texts, like the Mishnah, it was more about creating fair legal systems and making sure society didn't descend into chaos. Think of it like early customer service policies. How do we keep life running smoothly without everyone throwing lawsuits or food at each other? Later on, especially in Kabbalah, Jewish mystics added a cosmic twist. They believed the world was created with sparks of divine light trapped inside, and our actions could help release them, sort of like freeing fireflies from a jar, except with much higher stakes. Over time, this concept evolved into something bigger, moving from legal fairness to spiritual repair to today's focus on social justice and activism. So how does Tikkun Olam play out in everyday Jewish life? Well, picture this. Your Netflix account gets hacked. You don't just sit there. You call tech support, reset your password, and maybe lecture your family about stronger passwords. That's Tikkun Olam thinking. Don't shrug at brokenness. Fix it. For Jews, this might mean feeding the hungry, supporting refugees, fighting climate change, or even just being the mensch who helps carry groceries for an elderly neighbor. Many Jewish organizations use Tikkun Olam as their rallying cry. Synagogues host food drives, teens volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, and groups advocate for everything from racial justice to protecting the environment. Basically, if there's a cause that helps people or makes the planet less messy, someone will connect it to Tikkun Olam. And yes, it's often cited in bar and bat mitzvah speeches, usually right after thanking Grandma Esther for the new iPhone. The phrase has become a sort of Jewish shorthand for get off the couch and make the world better. But let's not pretend this idea belongs only to Judaism. Fixing the world is a human thing, not just a Jewish thing. Christianity talks about charity, Islam emphasizes zakat, or giving to the poor, Buddhism highlights compassion, and even secular philosophies stress kindness and justice. What makes Tikkun Olam uniquely Jewish is the packaging. It blends ancient law, mystical spirituality, and modern activism into one neat, catchy phrase. It's like Judaism's version of a Swiss Army knife, compact, versatile, and always handy. Jews throughout history have leaned on it during tough times. In medieval Europe, Jews couldn't always fix the whole world. They barely got to fix their own shoes without being taxed for it. But they still built communities that valued education, charity, and resilience. Fast forward to modern America, and you'll hear Tikkun Olam at rallies, in synagogues, and even on college campuses where students chant it alongside calls for justice. It's an old idea wearing a new hoodie, always adapting to the times. Now, let's talk about the mystical angle, because who doesn't like a little spiritual sparkle?
Whether you're into unsolved mysteries, solved mysteries, or creating your own mysteries, Amazon Music's got millions of podcast episodes waiting. Just download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
In Kabbalah, especially the teachings of Rabbi Isaac Luria in the 1500s, Tikkun Olam took on a cosmic dimension. The story goes like this. When God created the world, divine light was poured into vessels that shattered, scattering holy sparks everywhere. Our job? Gather those sparks and restore harmony. It's basically the original cleanup crew, except instead of sweeping Legos off the floor, you're spiritually reorganizing the universe. How do you do that? Through mitzvot, or commandments, and acts of goodness. Each good deed you do, feeding the hungry, giving charity, even saying a blessing over your morning coffee, releases a spark. It's like playing Pokemon Go, but instead of catching Pikachu, you're catching divine sparks of light. This mystical spin made ordinary actions feel extraordinary, reminding Jews that even the smallest kindness could literally repair creation. No pressure, but your bagel blessing could be holding the cosmos together. Of course, not everyone agrees on what Tikkun Olam should focus on. Some see it primarily as social justice, marching in protests, lobbying governments, and fighting systemic inequality. Others stress personal responsibility, like observing Jewish rituals, studying Torah, and living ethically at home. And some combine both, saying you can't fix the world outside if your inner world is still a mess. It's kind of like self-care. You can't save the planet if you haven't eaten breakfast, or, in Jewish terms, if you skipped lighting Shabbat candles. Critics sometimes roll their eyes and say Tikkun Olam has become a trendy buzzword, like disruptive innovation or clean eating, that gets thrown around without depth. But even skeptics admit it captures something powerful, a call to action that makes Judaism feel relevant in a messy world. Whether you're recycling plastic bottles or studying mystical texts, the goal is the same: chip away at brokenness until the world looks a little less cracked. What's cool is how flexible the concept is. For a rabbi in the Talmud, Tikkun Olam was about fixing legal loopholes so widows didn't get stuck without support. For a mystic in Safed, it was about repairing cosmic vessels. For a 21st century Jewish teen, it might mean organizing a climate march. That's the beauty of Jewish ideas. They evolve without losing their core. It's like a recipe passed down through generations. Your great-grandma's kugel, your mom's kugel, and your cousin's gluten-free vegan kugel. Different flavors, same comfort food. Tikkun Olam has been flavored with law, mysticism, activism, and everything in between. And that adaptability is why it still resonates today. You don't need to be a rabbi or a scholar to get it. You just need to look around, find something broken, whether it's your community, your relationships, or even your recycling bin, and start repairing. Big or small, cosmic or local, it all counts as Tikkun Olam. Let's bring it down to the level of your everyday life. Maybe you're not ready to lead a protest or write a new mystical commentary, but you can still practice Tikkun Olam in bite-sized ways. Donate to a food bank. Check in on a lonely neighbor. Reduce your screen time and actually talk to your family at dinner. Volunteer at an animal shelter, plant a tree, or help your friend move that ridiculously heavy couch. Each act may seem small, but Judaism teaches that no good deed is wasted. There's a famous line in Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of the Fathers. It is not your duty to finish the work, but neither are you free to neglect it. Translation: you don't have to save the whole world, but you do have to do something. Imagine if everyone picked one little repair task every day. Suddenly, the world would look like your house after your mom came to visit. Way cleaner, surprisingly functional, and smelling faintly of chicken soup. And here's the kicker. Tikkun Olam isn't just about what you do, but how you see yourself. It's about believing that your actions matter, even in a giant, overwhelming world. Ever feel like one person can't make a difference? Judaism pushes back on that. The Talmud says saving one life is like saving an entire world. That's not just poetic fluff. It's a radical reminder that your choices ripple outward in ways you can't always see. Smile at a stranger, and maybe they'll pass it on. Mentor a kid, and maybe they'll grow up to mentor others. Compost your leftovers, and maybe you'll inspire your neighbor to recycle. Tikkun Olam invites you to see your life as part of a much bigger repair project. You're not the CEO of fixing the world, but you are on the team. And when everyone shows up for the job, the results are pretty amazing. So to wrap this up with a bow as shiny as Hanukkah gelt, Tikkun Olam is one of Judaism's greatest hits. It's ancient yet modern, mystical yet practical, big picture yet small steps. It teaches us that the world is broken, no shock there, but also that we're not powerless to fix it. Every prayer, every mitzvah, every act of kindness, every rally, every bagel shared with love adds up. It's Judaism's way of saying, stop scrolling, start doing. You don't need a cape or superpowers, just a willingness to pitch in. And honestly, isn't that what makes life meaningful? Knowing you left the world a little better than you found it? Thank you for listening to the Everything Jewish 10 Minutes at a Time podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, send it to a friend who could use some inspiration, or leave a positive review so others can find us. Until next time, keep on repairing the world, one spark, one step, and maybe one bagel at a time.